All right. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the hallway. My name is Jacob, and I'm with my co-host, Chris. Chris, what's going on?
Hey, Jacob, what's up, man? What's up? We're in the hallway.
Hanging out.
We've made it. We're hanging
Hey,
out.
man. So I wanted to ask you. So I went into the office today, and
Yeah?
I haven't been into the office in a long time, right? So I've been working from home. Me and Chris worked together for a long time. Everyone knows about COVID. And I tell you what, man, going into the office is mad inconvenient. I woke up, I'm like, damn, I gotta get dressed. I gotta pack my lunch.
Yup.
What is going on here? Oh, I tell you what, man,
man.
transferring to the office, I don't know what's gonna go on with all of this, but at least our organization has been slowly like trickling towards the office. They're like, yeah, we're gonna do Fridays, maybe go visit clients, all of this. But I don't know. You've been in the office since day one, right?
Yeah, man. Actually, I never stopped, bro. I never stopped coming. My tasks require me to be on the spot and in the room every single day.
But I mean,
Crazy.
have you been working from home at all? Like a little bit or no?
I've been taking advantage when it comes to like, all right, I'm just like not feeling well this morning, I'll just go ahead and try to work from home. So I've kind of leveraged it that way, but besides that, no, man, I've been there like every single day.
Dude, grinding. My man is committed.
Hey, man.
It's almost like I've been seeing on social media, like people talk about, what was it? This meme the other day where it was like, oh, we're thinking about going back into the office, and then it was like me, and it's kind of like I don't know, and then my boss is like, oh yeah, let's work from home 2 to 3 days a week, and then me like, oh wait, I'm suffocating, like back up, I'm suffocating.
Whoa, easy. Totally get it.
Let's see if that transition fully happens, though. I mean, to those that still work from home, it's like, I don't know. It's at first it's tough, but at the end of the day, it's a blessing.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's the thing. I think what happened through all this is that we proved that we can work from home and we can be successful. So now you can't ignore the fact that I can do it. So let me do it a little bit here and there. I'll give you a reason to keep the lights on by coming in 2 to 3 or whatever, but let me take some liberties here.
Yeah, but I think that's what some of the bigger companies have been doing. I mean, what is it? I think Facebook is giving the option. Twitter's giving the option for people to permanently work from home. I mean, all of these big companies, and I don't know. I would almost think, I was looking into this the other day, but thinking about WeWork now. So think about their business model, right? Their business model is they have office space, and then you go as an individual or as a business or whatever it is, and you rent out certain spots. I think that could in the future be more relevant than ever, because now it's like, okay, as a company I say, all right, I'm going to shut down all of my businesses, and now let me just utilize WeWork when we want to do offsites, right? Or when we want to get together. So at a business before that might have flopped, because I know that there was a huge thing around it, could potentially be on the come up. Have you ever looked at a WeWork facility? Have you ever seen one or searched it online?
I haven't seen the WeWork specifically, but I've seen other co-work like spaces, and they even have one in the mall down the road there. And it's like just come when you need stable internet, stable Wi-Fi, or you just want to host a meeting for a few people, and it's actually kind of perfect in a way. Yeah. So breaking out of traditional going to business, going to work vibes, you can kind of get into the, okay, when I need to go to an office, I will go to an office to meet with other individuals. Or if I just want to come into somewhere to work with stable Wi-Fi, stable internet, and all of that. The one, I know there are a few companies that run headless like that, but then they give options where you can go to, basically it's a coffee shop where they have Wi-Fi, they have all the infrastructure needed to work, and you rent a cube for a certain period of time. And I think that right there, that's a movement. It's either that or hey, let me work from home. But then you got to work out how do we finance it? Does the company pay for the space? And if you're not using the space, do we pay for your Wi-Fi at home? How do we work that out?
I think that's a really good point. I mean, the Wi-Fi at home. I guess, would it be acceptable if they paid a portion of Wi-Fi? I mean, that would be interesting if they said, okay, you're going to be working from home permanently, And if that's the case, right, every paycheck, I don't know if you get paid every 2 weeks, if you get paid every week, whatever it is, we're going to, on average, right, in our state, it costs this much for Wi-Fi. We're going to give you a portion of that because obviously it goes to some personal use, right?
Yeah.
So I think that would be acceptable. But then, okay, if we're talking about Wi-Fi, what about electricity? What about water? What about plumbing, right? I mean, hey, I take shits at work. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's real, bro. It's real. They got facilities there. They got people that come in and plunge that boy out.
That's right. Man, I was in the office today, and I was walking through the common area, and there was some facility guys there. And as I'm walking through, there's this lady on the phone, and she's like, "Yeah, I need someone here." I'm walking to the group area that we had like booked or whatever, and she's like, "Yeah, we need someone here right now." Like, I was in the ladies' bathroom, and the toilet's overflowing, like water's going everywhere, and I'm walking past, and I'm like, "Yo," and then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, "She definitely just clogged the toilet, right?"
No, somebody did it, and I just caught it first. Whoa!
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh! But tell me this though, I don't know which location you got into today, but we're now looking at June 11th, right? Mm-hmm. What's the mask situation like over there?
So where we are at work right now, I guess when you are walking around, you're supposed to wear a mask. Mm-hmm. So, when you're going from, to the bathroom or to get a coffee or to get some water or to do whatever you're going to do, you should be wearing a mask. But when you're sitting where you are, you don't have to be wearing a mask. So, But I mean, at the end of the day, though, how many people are there? Like, the capacity of the office is probably like, let's say, I don't know, 200 at least. And maybe 20 people are there, right? So, I mean, the point of wearing the mask, I think it's more of a precaution that offices are taking. Because think about the risk, right? If you go through there and then, you say, oh, yeah, I got COVID, and they somehow trace it to the office, then potentially, I don't know, but potentially the company's liable. So think about this. We kind of have a suing culture here in the United States. Like, people like to sue each other. And I really think that if that were to happen, someone were to able to prove it in one little bit sliver of the truth, they would do it. They would do it. They would sue it. They would sue it.
They would. I think, like, going deeper into that, like, that culture, I think some parts of America, they have a suing culture that's built off of a let's get something for free culture. And that let's get something for free culture, if it's strong enough, they'll find that little sliver. You're right.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
And it's I mean, we're both American, right? But at the end of the day, if I feel like I was damaged in some way and I can get something for nothing, then I don't know. It's like, why not? Like,
I mean, exactly. Yeah, if it's absolute gain for me and it doesn't like hurt me or cost me too much time to try to procure these said free things or free dollars,
why not? Yeah, go for it.
Why not?
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, man. So, for those that don't know, me and Chris work for a German company, and I was at happy hour with some of my German colleagues today, right before this podcast, and they were telling me, which I didn't know this. So you know how we have red and blue for our political parties, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, there are 6 different colors in Germany that are used for their various political parties. There's black, yellow, green, blue, light blue, which is a sub-party of blue, and there's like one other one. I think it's purple. I might have said purple already. Yeah. But I didn't know that there were 6, and I wonder if that exists, like those different colors. That's insane. So apparently, it goes on the spectrum, right? So the very far left is like, very radical, and I'm not sure where the colors represent. But as you move along that spectrum towards like extreme left, and then like moderate left, and then like neutral, and so on and so forth, all the way to the conservative, I didn't know that they had that many colors, and like that's how they, break things down. Yeah.
Well, it's crazy here. Like in America, we have the red, the blue, but the red, the blue are the biggest and the baddest, right? We have a bunch of other little things that fall into here and fall into there, but honestly, when it comes down to election day, our masses they group towards one of the two.
It's true,
because they never get anything done if you pick Joe Schmo from around the corner that happens to be purple or burgundy or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think that's so unfortunate, man, because if you think about it, I think that if you think of red and blue, right, like obviously two different spectrums, so the way that they would view certain things, but it almost represents to me like their specific views on various issues. And it's like, okay, do you lean this way or do you lean this way? And I think that with all of the issues that were presented within our country and around the world, I don't think that there's always like a left or a right solution. I think there's always like a middle solution.
Yeah.
And I think that people, and it's almost like people just want to be part of something so badly that they just like lean towards this extreme right and this extreme left. Because I think that no matter what issue it is, it doesn't matter like what's left or right. It's like, okay, what logically makes sense based on the facts and everything that we have.
And that's the thing, like groupthink becomes really apparent when you start to talk politics sometimes. A lot of ideas aren't like built from myself. Ideas are passed down or pushed through a group of people. And if me and you kind of think the same, but then 10 of us kind of think the same, and we all capture a new idea from an outside source at the same time, and one person tells us kind of how to think that we trust's opinion, we kind of ingest that and take it as our own in a way, and we may ponder over it for a minute and find one falsehood in it for a second, but then it smooths over easy because it's coming from someone we trust, or the group that we associate that we trust says, yeah, it's kind of cool, we're good, just accept this like we do. So I see what you're saying with like the too big. But
yeah, and you think about your parents. Like, think about your parents as well and the political views that they have. Like, they have such a huge influence on the way that we think.
Definitely.
And, I mean, is that kind of where you were going? Like, the people that you trust? Or, like, were you saying, like, your friends as well? Or what were you...
Yeah, so just like you're saying, there's a spectrum of trust, Coming from your parents, I think at a certain age as well, that the spectrum shifts with age and knowledge. But... coming from your parents is like, oh man, I trust my parents, they haven't led me astray, if that's the situation. And okay, their word is truth, and what they believe seems pretty solid. It's gotten me this far, so I'll continue to believe what they believe. So we'll associate and put ourselves into the same groups. And then anything that you tell me from there, alright, cool. It must be pretty good. I mean, and most things line up. That's what it is, If me and you are talking about rights, obviously I'm going to slide into the, oh yes, I believe in rights, which then usually kind of slides into the, I believe in women's rights, I believe in men's rights, I believe in, so as long as we're not bouncing too far out of the realm, that trust will lock in the similar ideas with me,
When, and maybe a question to you, when did you challenge, so we were talking about, the spectrum of trust and like coming from your parents and whatnot, and I think that, when we're younger, like, and what you said, like, what our parents say is truth. It's like, if they don't know the answer, then the answer doesn't exist, right?
Exactly.
Like, when we're 5 or 6, like, if they're like, yeah, I don't know, then you're like, wow, the world doesn't know, like, what the answer to this is. So, I mean, do you remember at what age when you started really thinking about the decisions that your parents make and, or maybe the guidance that they would give you, and you started to challenge that? Like, do you remember any time you started like challenging that thinking? Yeah.
So for me, I kind of split the two. So you said two things there. One is started thinking about it, and two is actually challenging it. For me, I split that divide just a little bit because I'm a non-confrontational guy. I try to stay smooth with my parents and all that. So I'll ingest a lot of what they have to say and then think on it, and I'm sure I'll agree with a decent bit of it. But every now and then there's a thing or two that pops just like, I feel otherwise, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut because we're at a family gathering or something, and we don't really need to dive into how I feel about it. But then sometimes it requires a little bit of action where, okay, we need to sit down and talk so I can express how I feel, and maybe that'll change your heart because the trust at a certain age starts to kind of flow both ways, or should, maybe, It all depends on your relationship that you have, So, I'll give you an example of one.
Sure.
Recently, the new minimum wage in Florida got passed where it jumps to $15 an hour.
Over years, right?
Yeah, over a few
over
years.
like 3 or 4 years, something like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we get $1 increase every year, all the way up to I think 2025 or something like that. And I was pro. I was pro. Actually, no, sorry, I was against it.
Oh, you were against? Yeah. Okay.
And my father was for it, and I was like, we kind of broke it down. We broke it down. You see, and it took without getting too deep into it, it took a second.
No, what, dude? Say what you want to say. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the gist of it. He was giving me the. Actually, let me hear what you have to say about it first, and then I'll give you kind of how I feel.
Sure. So if we're talking about specifically, and I think the minimum wage, I don't think it's just Florida, right? I think it's the United States. Mm-hmm. So it's the United States.
It was passed in Florida first, so it's statewide.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think it passed on a United States level yet.
Okay. But Florida specifically, all right. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, I think about it in a way that I guess, I think any natural human would. I think about how it would affect me, because I think the most clear example and the example that people use the most around $15 an hour is like, okay, now when I go to McDonald's to get my Big Mac or my double cheeseburger, or I'm sorry, McDouble or whatever it is now, I'm going to be paying that guy $15 an hour to flip my burger, right? And if that's the case, what are they paying now? $7.25. Let's just double it for simple math. Ooh. Now my McDoubles now, which is already at $1.50 or whatever it is, now it's going to be $3, right? So the dollar menu is going to be obsolete, and then in general, prices for me are going to go up generally. There is another side to it though, but I still think there's a negative side to it. So now, if the employers are going to be forced to pay a higher wage, that means if they want to continually maintain the profits that they have or increase them, they're going to have to do probably one of two things. Well, they're going to have to do one thing, and it's going to be cut costs, right? How they cut costs is going to be dependent on the company. And I think they can do in going off of the food and beverage example, they're either going to have to get the products that they serve themselves at a less expensive rate, right? Yeah. Or I guess they could do three things. The products that they get, less expensive. They have to become more efficient at their current processes on what they do for delivering to their customers, or they're going to need to eliminate some roles. Yeah. Right. So some jobs are going to be eliminated because, let's say, they're going to create a robot that can flip burgers, which I think they literally already made it in Japan. Japan is another thing. Japan is like all robots, but anyways.
Different economy.
That's what I think. I think that if they do that, yes, it will help people, but in turn, the prices of other things may go up. But at the same time, it will force companies to innovate if they still want to be profitable. But then that innovation, that could lead into potential job loss and I don't know, so on and so forth. But that's my opinion of it. So I guess I would say I'm not for it, but I do see that the cost of living is going up, right? Rents are going up. I mean, I'm a landlord, right? So I increase rents every year. Like other, I know that the prices of inflation is currently hitting us, right? Especially since all these stimulus checks. So I think inflation will just become more. So I don't know. I'm very against it, but I'm interested to hear what you think in terms of at least what you were thinking around being. Well, no, you were against it, but then your dad was for it. So yeah, tell me what you think.
Yeah. So I myself was against it because it's part of what we were talking about earlier, where we said, if someone's going to give me more money just for doing nothing or minimally nothing, I mean, yay, more money, right? Yeah. You'd think. But the money for me it's not in the money, it's in the individual. So I think we need to get people more money, but I think the way we're going about getting people more money is incorrect. So by giving more money for the same amount of work or the same amount of effort, that's where the problem lies. So I'll give the scenario of John the Bagger. John the Bagger at Walmart. John simply puts things in a bag. Does John need $15 an hour? Probably Probably not. Depending on John's life situation, I don't know what's going on with John's life.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I know a lot of people fall into the $9 an hour job, $8 an hour job. Those are the jobs for the high school individuals. And I agree with that. I understand that the population of high school individuals may not be able to supply the workforce as needed for the baggers. But, some of us make decisions to do less or to do more. But I think the way that this should have came, the money should have come from the businesses. So an idea I came up with is, what if we did some sort of tax cut for businesses if you have employees that are working and are paid higher? So we look at the average salary of a business, right? If you can get your average salary of your company up to this level, we will give you a tax cut. And we put it on a bracket. So now that incentivizes you as a company to take John the Bagger and put him in a training program. John the Bagger is now in a training program to achieve higher so that he can now become a manager. And now John the Bagger is being skilled, he's been trained, and he deserves to make that extra $15 an hour because he's worked for it. So a company themselves is not going to give away money for free, right? They're going to realize that, hey, I have to bump my my average salary up in order to hit this next bracket to catch a good cut, right? So let me train employees and then actually value them at a higher level, so I'll pay them a higher level because I'm not just going to give it to you for nothing. And I think that's
so what you're saying is you would think there would be, so in terms of I thought your tax idea was interesting because, obviously large companies that are making millions and billions of dollars, they do everything that they can in order to avoid taxes, which makes sense. So you're saying that if they can get their employees up to a certain level of taxes, they would be able to write off an additional amount or there would be some sort of incentive program tied to raising their minimum wage to a certain threshold.
Exactly. So,
but then you also added like this training. So would it be like an investment? Would it be like they're also? So it would be in addition.
So I think by doing the tax cut, we'd incentivize them to say, "Hey, I need to raise my minimum wage, or I need to raise what I'm paying my employees." But then you say, "Okay, in order to do that, they're not going to just give you more money." And the way that I would think that they would try to do it is to train you to get you to a higher level. Or somehow fit you into a position where you deserve the money. Because as a business, I've run a very small business before, and I don't want to give away free money just because,
No, for sure.
So I'm going to escalate your position or give you more responsibility where you deserve the money,
But then you could also say, so kind of taking an opposite point here, you could say that if you're training John the Bagger to elevate out of this position that he currently has, then once he elevates, now you're still out of a bagger.
That's true. You're right.
So you could, you know what I mean? Because you still almost need that lower, my air quotes, lower skilled position.
Yeah.
Right? And if we think of it in terms, it is a low skilled position, right? I mean, anybody can put things in a bag.
That's true. That's true. So what if we find a way around that? If we, like you
But
said...
hold on.
Okay.
Talking about low skill, I actually want to kind of take a tangent.
Yeah, go for it.
Have you ever thought about how to put groceries in a bag? Have you thought about that?
So I'm a little bit of an analytical guy when it comes to things like that. Like, if I've got, if I've got bread and I've got cans, obviously you have to do your groupings, and stack them kind of, in a certain way, Tetris-like, right? So how do you do it?
No, but that's the thing. I think that some people don't think that way. Because I remember my dad told me some story because my parents were in retail for a while and they worked at this chain in Florida. It's called Publix, right? I mean, we're in Florida, so we know, but those that may not be, but it's called Publix, whatever. It's a grocery chain. And he had like some person that put eggs on the bottom with like cans on top of the eggs, and he was like so pissed. But if you think about it, like it's like if no one trains you to like be like, yo, you don't put eggs on the bottom, then it's like nobody knows.
That's true. That's true.
Sometimes people don't have common sense. We all have to agree on that. Sometimes people don't have any freaking common sense.
Common sense is not so common.
Oh my gosh.
That's entirely correct. It's entirely correct. No,
Sometimes we don't have common sense. When was the time that you didn't have common sense?
Ooh, let's not go there just yet.
That means he's got plenty.
Oh my gosh, bro. Okay, I'll throw you one. So today, right?
There we go.
Last night,
Last night. Oh shit!
Edging into this morning, right? So I'm outside. I'm hanging with some friends. I'm a car guy, of course. So I go to this car meet, and I'm out there with the boys. We're hanging out, having a good time, and then we go out to eat after, and we're just hanging around in the parking lot. We go to the bowling alley after, and then we're just chilling. They're shutting down. Someone brought out a volleyball. We're just, we're tossing around the volleyball, whatever.
In the parking lot.
We're just chilling.
In the bowling alley.
Listen to music, whatever. It's almost the weekend, right? And some dude's like, "Yeah, man, you're slow, bro. You're slow." And I'm like, "Yeah, my car's broken right now, so it's a little slow. But I could beat you on foot, though."
Oh,
right. So we line up. We're going from. We line up. I'm sitting here, probably I don't know, six parking spots away from there to the stoplight, and I'm like, "All right, let's see if we can hit the stop sign first." And, this is 4 or 5 of us. We're like, yeah, all right, let's go. We got the girls on the sideline with the cameras out and everything.
That's right. Dude, girls kind of amp it up a little bit. You're like, oh, the honeys are here,
okay,
bro.
Let's go. So I'm out there, and
check my foot speed, girl.
Yo, bro, I took my shoes off and everything. I was ready to rumble.
This man took his shoes off. This man.
We line up.
Oh, my God.
My man says, go. And I'm just like, I'm booking it. And I won. I beat them. And then this one guy's like, hey, man, I don't know, man. I was in sandals. I want to redo. And I was like, all right, that's fine. We can do this again. If you want to get whooped again, that's okay. It's okay. So we line up again. Wow. Same race.
Again.
And he gets off the line faster than I does. But I'm just like, all right, it's okay. We're good. And then I start picking up on him. And I pass him. And then probably one parking spot away from the stop sign, bro, I feel a little pop and a snap crackle in my leg. Oh my gosh. I still sailed across the finish line with the win, but I pulled my hamstring, bro. It was tragic. I did not feel it at first for a while. Like, I sat down and I was mellow, and then we kept playing volleyball or whatever. Like, it was rough. But
as you're like limping around,
yes, exactly,
trying to play it off.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I had a drink or two, so I was feeling okay enough, right? Yeah. And then everybody left, and I went to the bar. I was like, I'll have another drink. It was still early, and then I was sitting at the bar, and my leg just started locking up and started feeling all kinds of funny. And I'm just like, I need to cash out. I need to get out of here. And I limped home, and I lay in bed, and I'm telling you, excruciating pain. There's like 3 grades of a pulled hamstring, and I think I was on like grade 2. Grade 3 is like surgery, and it was killing me all night. It's only just now I'm starting to feel like kind of okay. That's why I didn't go to the office today. So
yeah, that's why you worked from home.
I work from home. See, so that's why I think it's great, because I was able to leverage that today. I was like,
there you go, man. There you go.
I'm not gonna make it today, y'all.
Got to keep that option open, right?
Yeah,
keep that option open.
Sitting here with my Tylenol. And
that is so funny though. Like the testosterone though. It's like I don't know, when men get together, like we just want to like
vibe, macho.
Yeah, we like the macho. We want to puff our chest out. Yeah. We want to be like, I'm faster than you. Like whatever. Like that's so true. Yeah. That is so true.
It's definitely the type of guy.
It's not even like a. Yeah, but it's not even like a threat. It's just like, I don't know. It's just what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just what we do. And the thing is, if he would have won, you'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever. You won.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And you won. It's not like he, got pissy even after you won the second time. It's like, yeah, okay, you definitely won.
Exactly.
Right? And then that's it.
It's nothing but love the whole time. Nothing but love.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
We enjoyed it so much, though. I think that's like, when you've got a friend group that's like that, we're just racing in all love either way, win or lose. That's great. It's great.
Some real men stuff, man. Some real men stuff.
For real. But now I'm like half sitting on my chair here and low-key suffering. But, it's okay. It's okay. I took the dove home.
That's right. And it's on video, too.
And it's on video. Exactly. Took the dove. I was in a full like long pants and polo shirt and everything.
Wow. So you had just got off work. You literally went from work.
I left from work and we were just chilling. I was like, ugh. I wish I'd changed. It was hot last night too. Oh my gosh.
Oh man, it's been hot every day,
bro. For y'all that aren't in Florida, we've got this like muggy, thick heat all day. Even if the sun's not out, at night it's just like dripping.
Ugh. And you walk out. It's almost sometimes like it's like you walk out of your house, which is nice and cool and air conditioning, and it feels like you walk into like a cloud. Yeah. It's like you're in a hot cloud. It's like, what is happening?
Yeah, it's like a cloud. Sometimes if it's wet enough, like really muggy enough, you like walk into a pool. And it's just so like Florida, man. Florida summers. I'm telling you, it's brutal.
I love it though, man. I love it. Yeah. I saw this TikTok the other day though. It was like this girl was talking about how people in Florida are very casual about a lot of things that we shouldn't be casual about. And one of the things that she talked about was alligators. How casual we are about alligators.
True.
I mean, how many times have you seen an alligator? I've seen an alligator more fingers and toes than I have.
Oh, honestly. Of course. Yeah, that's Florida, bro.
I mean, yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, people. There was this video of this guy who. Like his dog or something like that, like his little Chihuahua dog was like by the river, and the gator grabbed it, and this dude goes up to the gator, opens the gator's mouth, and takes the dog out and throws the gator back in. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
I remember that. They're like on a canal or something like that, and the dog's just running up, barking, hanging out. Oh my gosh, and gets taken.
Oh my gosh,
it was tragic, bro. It was tragic, but like. Owners, Floridians. I don't know if it's that like I'm gonna get this quick burst of energy because I'm like a dog mom, gotta protect my dog child. But yeah,
I think it is. Look at this, man. Look at this. I'm sharing my screen. Hold on. Right. Look at this thing.
What do we got here?
Yeah. No, but this dude literally like saves the dog. That's what it kind of just blows my mind, because to what you said, it's like an ad playing of a child. It's literally like having a child, and that's how people treat their dogs. It's crazy.
It's insane to me. All right, let's take a look here.
Look at this dude.
Oh my gosh. And they got it on video too.
Bro.
Wow.
He's opening up the gator's mouth.
Bro, he is waist deep in the water with the gator.
Waist deep.
Waist deep, straddling this gator. Bro. Oh my gosh! And the dog flees.
Oh, he has to pull out his fingers. Oh, he pulled out his fingers out of the. Jeez. Holy cow, dude! That is crazy, man.
That's how it is, man.
Having a dog though is really it's a child.
Yeah,
it's literally a child.
These days, I don't know, man. I'm not.
I know you're on the fence about dogs, right?
Yeah. I'm a little partial to dogs, but I mean, I love.
Don't tell chicks that, bro. Chicks don't like
that. No. Bro, I was swiping on Tinder. It's like, dog mom. I was like, oh, okay. I don't want to be a dog dad, but if I have to, it's crazy.
Did your family have pets?
So we had like parakeets and. At one point, we were living with this other family that had a chinchilla, and
chinchilla. That sounds familiar. Is it a type of lizard or something? What is a chinchilla?
I'm trying to remember.
You said the name, but you don't remember what animal.
I'm trying to like visualize it. It's not coming to me, but like, yeah.
I feel like everyone has heard of a chinchilla, but nobody knows what a chinchilla is.
Oh my gosh, let's pop a chinchilla right here. Chinchilla.
Oh, it's some type of like rat.
Yeah,
it's not a rat, but like a rodent. Rodent.
Yeah. So they had a chinchilla. What else was there? We had hamsters. The little things, shit like that. But like, we didn't have any dogs or any cats.
Okay.
But you know what? I had friends that had dogs that had cats, so I learned to love my friends' animals because
there you go.
I don't have to pick up their shit.
That's right.
So I don't know. What about you? You obviously, your parents got a dog. Yeah.
Dude, we've had quite a few animals.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've had. I mean, since I was a kid, We've had 4 dogs. Ooh. And then my mom has a dog, not all at once, but like, you know, over time. Mm-hmm. We've had 4 dogs. My mom has a dog now, so 5 dogs, I guess.
Yeah.
We've had 3 cats. We've had a bird, and the bird was interesting because it was like when I was in kindergarten, they had like this bird that they passed around to different families all summer. And it's like, dude, it was weird. I don't know. They like, we had this bird and it was like, okay, I'm going to give it to this family for like 2 weeks. And then so we passed around this bird. It was
it like a school thing?
It was interesting. Yeah, it was a school thing. It was a school thing.
That's an interesting way to like get pets into the home without like, you know, requiring it of a parent, like with all of that
crazy responsibility.
Exactly. That's what it is. That's really what a pet is, you know, to me. And I don't know, the point I am in my life, I'm not ready for those kind of responsibilities.
No, I feel you. So, I definitely feel you.
Yeah.
No, but we also had 2 turtles. So we had 2 green turtles.
Okay.
And
those are pretty low.
My turtle, you got to clean their... no, they're not. You got to clean their tank. You got to clean them. You got to like... Dude, and my turtle, like, actually killed my sister's turtle. Yeah.
Dang.
Dude, so I don't know, those 90s babies out there. So me and my sister got turtles at the same time. We somehow convinced my parents. We were probably like, I don't know, 7 years old, 8 years old. So like it was like something that we would help our parents take care of the turtles. It was our turtles, whatever.
Yeah.
So we called them Phil and Lil. Right, from the Rugrats. Right? Because, you know, they're the same, Phil and Lil, whatever.
There's a time,
So when we would feed them, my turtle was very aggressive. Like, he would just, like,
snapping.
go, like, whenever we would give the little pellets. Yeah. Well, no, not, like, snapping us, but, like, whenever we would give the pellets of, like, food for them to eat, he would just, like the other turtle's trying to get it, and he would just, like, eat it and, like, you know, basically take all the pellets and everything. And I remember... like, we had left to go to see, like, some family friends or something that were out of town. And I think we asked my grandmother to, like, watch the turtles and just, like, feed them. And I think it was maybe for, like, I don't know, like 3 days, 4 days, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, a few days. And when we come back, I think my grandmother fed them, like, the first day. And then she forgot. And then we came back. And my turtle was there, like, swimming around trying to, like... yo, like, what's good? And the other turtle's, like, shell was, like, half eaten. And it was just, like, there, like, dead. And I was like, oh, my gosh. That traumatized me, dude. I was like, 7 years old. I was like, what is going on here?
My turtle! No! Oh, my gosh.
No, Lil! It's dead!
That's when your parents had to sit you down and have the conversation about death and life.
That's right. Dude.
So tell me this. Have you ever had, like, that formal conversation with your parents about life and death?
Man. I don't know if we've ever, like we've had conversations about it.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the conversation where it was introduced. I feel like I've always known about it.
Okay.
And, you know, my mom is kind of religious and my dad is, like, kind of religious, not really. They, like, believe in God, but they don't, you know, go to church or anything like that. They just say it once in a while.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you know, what God has in store for me, etc. And yeah, they were just, no, we've talked about it, but it was never like, hey, like, things die.
This is what
I guess I've always just, it's never like, they never explained that to me. So I'm assuming that based on the question, they had that, you know, your parents had that with you.
No, they did. No.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we, like, same scenario, but like.
Is that something that you would have with your kids?
I would.
Like, do you think you would actually talk to them, like, about life and maybe we have, we just don't remember, right?
Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe because it could have been exposed to us at a pretty young age, but I don't know. I feel like I just came to that realization based off of like kind of like you said, I'm a church boy, you know, through back in the day, you know, every weekend, religiously, of course, and I like, you know, they kind of talk about Jesus and God dying, and you know, so that was kind of always a factor. So I don't know if it was that or just watching the TV and hearing and seeing people die and get shot and cartoons at the time, but I don't think I've ever like had that sit down convo, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe to kind of did your parents ever talk to you about like the birds and the bees type of thing?
No. Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. I never remembered them talking specifically about like sex or like anything like that.
Nope. Once
No.
again, pushing the religious abstinence is key. Like, we never talked about it, but we, like, you know, if it was ever brought up, it's like, hey, you need to not be doing that.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, you know, the conversation ended. Because, you know, it's an awkward conversation for you and your parents.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just kind of...
I don't know. And I think about that as a father, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like I would want to educate, like, yes, it may be awkward, right? And they may be like, oh, why are you telling me about that? You're my dad. Or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But still, I feel like as a father, you know, if it's my son and, you know, hopefully the woman that I marry, right, will want to do this as well. But I think that it's up to us to educate our children about this stuff because in my personal opinion, I think that if you keep a child, which I've seen people, if you keep a child too sheltered, right? And you're like, oh, you can't party, you can't, you know, have boyfriends or girlfriends. You can't do this. You can't do that. Blah blah blah. It's almost like you're like taking a freaking helium balloon and you're like pushing it and you're like pushing it, and then all of a sudden when their parents aren't there anymore, like at college or some random, I don't know, like whatever,
First chance,
dude, that literally all of that release, all that pressure that you build up just goes, and it's not even like the balloon is like slowly going up. It's like the balloon shoots out, and then they just do everything, and then that's when, you know, crazy stuff happens. Yeah,
definitely. I don't know. I think my parents understood that I kind of like, I knew what was going on. I don't know if they just felt the vibe and they're just like, we don't need to tell him, you know? Because I was a bad kid, you know? I kind of knew about the birds and the bees a little bit. No, let me tell you about this, right? I was in, I think it's 5th grade. They sit you down and they give you the normal birds and bees talk.
It was 5th grade for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember. Yeah, go ahead.
But here's the shift. In my school, I was a private school up till 7th grade, right? And in 5th grade, they hit us with the All About Me class or video or whatever. So instead of teaching us about the birds and the bees, men and women, they sat us down and talked to us strictly about ourselves and the changes that we would see in our own bodies and...
Like puberty kind of.
Yeah. It was more of a training on puberty. And, you know, it was like, hey, okay, so you're... This might happen. You might wake up like this one day, and this is why.
Yeah.
They didn't dive into the like, well, that thing is there for you to reproduce, son, and this is how you do it. They didn't get into that at all. But
this is how you do it. This is how you have sex.
Exactly. I don't know what's all that, but I don't know.
This is how you do it.
But at my Christian school,
anyways.
you know, they gave us, it's all about me. And my mom had to sign a little waiver and everything, stating that it was okay for them to show it to me. And like, I was like, okay. And the rest I kind of learned on the internet, you know?
Yeah.
What was yours?
I don't know, dude. The internet is a bad source, I feel like, to learn about that shit, you know?
Like, it was interesting.
You think of like porn addiction, right? Like porn addiction is a real thing.
It is.
Like that's, I personally don't suffer from it. I don't think you suffer from it either. But do you?
So once upon a time, you know,
once upon a time, back in the day.
Yeah. When you first learned about it, you're just like, whoa!
Yeah, that's true.
I had a blip where I learned about it, and then I was like, wow, this is great. What do people do with this? Because I didn't know. What anything was. Man. So I was just
that's when you're figuring out your body, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm watching, and I'm just like, this is great. I like it. I'm like stimulated, but like I just sitting here with my hands on the computer, and I was like, I guess I'll watch it because I feel bad. Like I probably should be watching it.
Yeah.
This is the bad aspect.
No, but that
you know?
that stuff is like a real thing though, man. And like that's why where I'm getting at is that like learning about sex on the internet, in which I think a lot of people would agree with this, and you know maybe I'm wrong, right? But it's not real. Like sex on the internet is not real sex.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not like that's not how sex normally happens.
No.
Right?
No.
You can obviously create sex to be that way.
Yeah.
But you know, I don't know. I think it's more about the connection. So like in my opinion, so, the best sex I've ever had is when you feel like connected to the person. It's not all these crazy positions. It's not all of this, I flipped her around 3 times and she did a double backflip. And like, it's not all that, right? Like, you can make that happen. But it's like, the best is when it's like, okay, you're in it, I'm in it. Like, like you feel connected. And that connection, it's hard to describe, but you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I had some of that.
And that's what you look for.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I feel like there's different sides of everything, So you could approach sex in the meaningful, like, wow, yeah, like this is the passionate love making, And then there's also like, I don't know. I've been playing the field for a little bit these days. I've been a little single, and you don't build that emotional connection right off the bat with every girl you meet. And sometimes there's just the need to get it out there,
I get you.
And that is sufficient. And then sometimes there's the need to wow and amaze with all the fancy, And, you have fun doing it. It's less so of like a passionate, like, love-making, but more so like a, we're here, we're trying new things, and we're having fun together,
Yeah, for sure. Oh, for sure.
So there's spectrums, I don't know if
no doubt
one is better than the other or anything, but there's spectrums to it.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting about this topic is that it comes down to experience. Like, and I think that you talk about women, right? And women get a lot of shit for having sex, with a lot of men, which I don't know, and we could go down this rabbit hole, but we won't get too much into it, at least on this version. But I don't want a woman that slept with everyone, right? But I want a woman that has a little bit of experience. Like because if I'm with a woman and she's too inexperienced to know like what bad sex is and what good sex is, then I think we'll never together achieve great sex.
Yes.
Because if she's only known me, or she's only known, like, let's say one other guy, like, I think minimum, if you want to have, no, this isn't, I'm just throwing it out there, but I think minimum, at least a girl should have sex with 2 or 3 guys, like, at least to kind of get a spectrum, probably at least 3 or 4 maybe, just to kind of get a spectrum of like, okay, this was good, this was not. And you can kind of like understand, right? And I think that's even more so for men. And I think that women kind of give men shit sometimes, and not as much as women get shit, but men sometimes get stuff. Men sometimes get shit for, because we're whore dogs or whatever, and we want to have sex all the time, blah, blah, blah. But if you think about it, like, as a woman, and obviously I can't talk for a woman, I'm sure we can get, a woman on this podcast to give us their opinion. But I think that as a woman, you would want a man, depending on your style of sex and what you like to get into, you would want a man that's a little bit more experienced. You want a man that like knows what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and maybe some women may disagree, right? And that's okay, right? Depending on, all good. But I would almost say the majority, it's like, okay, obviously they don't want us to have sex with like a million women, but if you know what to do, you know how to react, like, at least a handful of positions or so that you can direct and you can lead and you can do all these things, then I think that's, important.
It is.
Right? And it's, and you, the only way you get that is through experience. Is through experience. Yeah.
I was talking to one of my partners recently about how sex definitely has a fluidity to it, right? And sometimes when you're either doing it with someone for the first time or, just having an off day, the flow is off. You can sense that, this isn't really flowing the way I want it to. Things are happening, but like, I'm not really in it. We're both not in it. We're kind of disconnected, kind of. And that, I feel like for me at least, majority of like first time experiences, they happen where like the flow is kind of, because you're feeling it out. You don't know the other person. Yeah. Sometimes. For sure. So I feel like that happens. But once I get to know you and what you like, and what I like based off, things you've tried, the flow picks up. But I see what you're saying where like men and women get hate for it. I think it's a little lower than that. Like, I think men get, like, hate, but then, like, women really get dogged out for, like...
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's 10 times worse, if not more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy. I love when someone is, you know, knowledgeable and, like, we can just dive right into having a good time right off the jump. And also having someone that has no experience is, like, it's something fun to do as well, to sit down and teach and learn. But then it's like they're in their head. If they can not be in their head about it and just relax and have a good time with no experience, it's great. It's a great time. But I've seen both sides of the spectrum that had good and not so good with both, and it's kind of, you know, it's a person by person, as with everything.
Yeah, definitely. But I'd say though, like, based on personal experience, having someone that you regularly hook up with, I would much rather prefer than, like, having a one-night stand.
Yes. Yeah. So if you can have that regular consistency, you kind of build a connection through that, and it's like,
and that's what leads to feelings,
exactly, yeah. And feelings amp sexual relations so much, you know, like you were saying.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So having that, like, consistency and just being familiar with someone, period, you know, it's just it's great stuff, and it leads to nothing but goodness majority of the time.
Big time. I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, man. Whew.
Heavy.
I know. Right. Oh my gosh.
Where's my girl at?
Yeah. I gotta make some weekend plans. Hold on.
What are you doing this weekend?
Oh man, I don't know. I think I got a little bit of homework to do, but one of my buddies, he hit me up 2 days ago. He's like, "Hey man, let's get all the boys together and let's go to Cody's and sit down and just the guys." And I was like, "Okay, what's going on? What's up? You getting married or something?" And he, like, puts the laughing emoji in the chat. And I was like, shoot, man went and proposed.
What does he want to, like, celebrate or something?
Probably.
He wants to announce it to you guys. Yeah.
Jury's still out. We're not sure.
One of my. How do you know this guy?
Oh, this is one of my, like, longtime friends back from middle school. You know, yeah. Old school.
Wow. So he's getting married at, like, what, like 22, 23?
He's 26. Yeah.
Oh, 26. Yeah. Oh, so he's a little bit older.
He's a little older than me, yeah. No, I've got,
okay.
My friend group is kind of varied, you know, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Good for him, man. Good for him. Yeah, one of my best friends is getting married as well. He's getting married, and he's the same age as me, so like 27, 28. He's getting married in December. So.
Oh yeah, I think you guys were talking about this the other day.
Yeah, Luke. I don't know if you met Luke, but yeah, he's a good guy, man. He's a good guy. It's exciting, man. Weddings are a big deal, man. People love weddings.
Weddings are pretty great. I mean, I haven't been to many
for attendees, right?
Yeah.
For a guest.
Hey, man, shoot, catered meals and all I got to bring is a gift.
Open bar.
Open bar. I get to meet some single friends of yours that are now friends of mine.
Yeah.
I mean, how can I be upset?
There you go, bro. There you go. Dude, I don't know, though. Sometimes weddings, it's like, people are so judgmental about weddings. And it's kind of a shame. Yes, dude. What? Yeah? Yes. People are so judgmental of weddings. On all sides. All sides. At least from what I've experienced. From the weddings that I've been to, like, you know, obviously over the course of my life, I've had different girlfriends. I've been to different weddings, you know, different friends. Whatever, but dude, people judge. Like, I can have, like, you've been to birthday parties, right?
Yeah.
Of mine, right? I'll have a birthday party, and nobody's out. I mean, and you know, maybe you've been to weddings, but this is at least my experience. Nobody's out here talking shit about my birthday party, like, oh yeah, you know, Jacob didn't have enough sausages, or he ran out of mustard, or like, you know, we ran out of beer after 4 hours, even though I had, you know, 15 beers. I mean, what the hell's going on? You know, nobody's saying that, but at weddings, like, people are petty about that.
Wow.
People are like. People judge the food. People judge the venue. People judge this. People judge that. Wow. It's like, dude, I'm telling you, people shit on weddings.
Oh my gosh.
It's insane, bro. You know, it's insane. Because the expectation is so high. Like, it's stupid high for no reason. You know?
Now that you say that, I remember this one TV show where like there's like 4 brides and they go around like judging each other's weddings and the dresses and all that stuff. Yeah,
dude. Yes.
It's
oh
an
my
industry,
gosh. Yeah,
bro,
it's terrible, dude. It is, man. It's an industry, and it's like we all fall into the trap.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, if it was up to me, I would do it the same way like I do my birthdays, bro. I would have a freaking keg of beer or whatever beer. I would make some of my freaking ribs, right? And it would be, it would be thoughtful. Like, my friends are going to DJ. Everyone's going to, there's yard games in the back. Like, everyone's having a good time, whatever. All my friends, all my family, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But now it's like, dude, they put this label on it that makes it wedding, and now you have to have an extravagant thing where everything has to be, each plate has to cost you, $30, and you're inviting 100 people to your wedding, and it's like, it's crazy, bro.
Yeah, there's plate costs and all kinds of analysis.
You should just call it a family reunion, right? And they'll probably charge it cheaper.
Low key.
Like, there's actually a thing. What's that show? Adam Ruins Everything. You ever seen that show? You ever heard of that show?
I've heard of it.
So it's by True TV, and he does one on weddings, and he talks about how the only reason why weddings are around is because like the rich and famous did it, and people were trying to like elevate to the rich, and anyone who's listening, like look at that, like weddings, and Adam Ruins Everything, and it's pretty interesting, man. Like the only reason why they have white dresses is because back in the day when people used to get married, like if you think about it, like there was a lot more manual work back then, so people were like working on farms and like doing all this, whatever it is, and so people didn't have white things because white gets dirty. Right? So white was reserved for the wealthy. So now it's like, and now people wanted to assume wealth, and then as the status of living became, weddings got bigger and bigger, and then a whole industry goes around it. They even said it was something ridiculous, like you want to rent, or like on average, if you do something that is considered like a reunion or a family party or something like that, like all the same stuff, and then you do it as a wedding, it's on average like $10,000 more. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. I think I've heard that before. You just say, it's not a wedding. No, it's just a few people. No, I was watching this one show, and if it was a wedding, you had to use like the venue's approved caterers. You had to use the venue's approved like stylist, a bunch of stuff like that. They have a wedding package, and in order to use this venue for a wedding, you have to use their package. Versus like, I just want an event, just give me the room. And they actually like monitor that stuff, and they'll come into your event and be like, "This looks like a wedding." Upcharge.
I got your credit card information.
Right. You got the deposit. That's crazy. That's the thing, man. It's an industry. But that's,
it is.
That's commercial America, man. It's commercial America.
It is, dude. People will pay for it, and people still do.
Yeah. They won't stop. I think there's definitely like a shift in the trend a little bit, People are getting a little more low-key, and, people are like living in off-grid homes and things like that. The traditional way of living is kind of moving. Just like the traditional way of working we were talking about earlier. We're evolving a little bit. But, there's still grandmas alive that like to see their...
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking about as you were saying that. It's like, okay, yes, us as a couple may be okay with doing something a little less extravagant. Yeah. But then it's like, okay, your abuela or your grandma or whatever, or even your mom or your dad or your cousin or your uncle or I don't know, whoever else, your aunt, are you ready to be faced with that judgment?
No. Yeah, that's definitely.
And I think some people will take that and be like, okay, no, I'm going to spend the money because I want it to be nice and then whatever. Yeah. But if you think about it, you can't even escape people's judgment. No. You can't. Because no matter what you do, someone's going to say something about something.
Yep. Exactly. So that comes down to like doing it for yourself and for your party.
Yes.
You got to look at each other and see what each other wants and just like, hey, all right, do I feel like satisfying my family today? No. All right, we're not doing it. Yeah. Exactly,
bro. And I think that almost comes down to like, the basic principle, what everyone preaches everywhere, which I think is important, but at the end of the day, you have to not care what people think to a certain extent. Like if you know what's good for you, and you're doing your thing, and you know what's best for you, and if you truly know what's best for you, not this skewed view of like doing drugs and you think that, yeah, I'm just going to keep doing this because it's good for me. It's like, no, if you know what's best for you and you like know what's up, and if people are going to judge you, like, screw that, man. Yeah. Like, do what's good for you and like your life, and
exactly,
you know, that's the most important thing.
I think you gotta like not take everybody's word with a grain of salt, but it all rolls back to that same trust factor where it's like, okay, I'm going to ask you for your opinion, or maybe you give me your unsolicited opinion, and then I will make a decision based off of how much I trust you, whether I want to accept your opinion. Well, not accept, but do I want to heed your words and then maybe shift my ways based off of what you've given me? You know, I've got to process that information. And in processing it, I will decide how much I want to trust your opinion, you know? Because if I know you as a bullshitter, I'm, you know, and you tell me some advice, you're a bullshitter.
Yeah.
I'm a, you know.
Big time.
That's who you are.
And you know what? This guy told me this advice on YouTube. One of these guys that I follow, he's really good. His name's Richard Cooper. But he's in like a red pill manosphere, but that's for another episode. But in terms of people's opinions, which I will probably say this again on other podcast episodes because I think we might touch this topic more. But if you think about people's opinions, right? We take people's opinions into consideration. If I say, Chris, like you're a piece of shit, your room is a mess, like bullshit. Your job is a piece of shit, like you suck, right? Like you suck in everything. And you're just kind of like, and obviously this is a very extreme example. Yeah. But I'm like, you're like, oh, okay, whatever. What my point is that, like, people that give you their opinions, like the only opinions that you should take into account are those that you wouldn't mind trading places with. So what do I mean? When I give you my opinion, like when I give you my opinion about maybe something that you're doing or a decision that you make or whatever it may be, or if I'm like giving you advice or something like that on something, it's like, okay, before you take any of this person's opinions or advice or whatever seriously, you should reflect on where they are in their life, where they're going, and more importantly, would you trade places with them? So would you trade places with them and their position in life?
Interesting.
And if that's yes, if you say, yes, I would trade places with that person, then you should probably take that person's opinion. You know, you should probably really listen to that person's opinion and their advice.
I see.
And if you say no, if you're like, no, I wouldn't trade places with that person, then that shows you the decisions that they've made and, you know, their method of thinking, right? And then you can kind of say, okay, your opinion, you can kind of almost brush it off if you want. I still think that you should take into consideration because maybe it gives you a different point of view. Yeah. But I think that you should consider it less so than someone that you would trade places with. So that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. It's like you said, where what you have decided and the ideals that you have followed thus far have brought you to where you are. So I'm not going to listen, like you said, to the guy that's on the corner side shooting up and saying, hey man, invest in crypto, bro.
Which, hey man, crypto may be a good investment.
Hey, it may be.
It went down. It might be a discount. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, discount.
No, but I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, versus the guy that's like, you know, the hedge fund owner, and he's like, yo, I'm doing this and it's working for me. You should probably try this, you know? But then on the same side, there's also the people that are just like, you got the crackhead on the side of the road that's giving you the, bro, don't do crack. You know?
That's true. So that's true. Should you not listen to him and do crack, right?
I mean, you know? Yeah.
I mean, that I think takes some intelligence. Yeah,
of course, like anything. You know, but common sense ain't so common, bro.
No, you're right. Eggs on the bottom of the basket. Eggs on the bottom of the grocery bag.
It's out there.
On that, man. On that, this was a good first episode. It's been good talking to you, man. Well, I'm really excited to explore a lot of these other topics that we talked about. Yeah. This was awesome.
Of course, man. Of course, it's always great talking to you, brother. And
so I think we're gonna do this. You know, maybe every week or every couple of weeks. We'll decide, but we'll tune in for the next episode. I hope others that are listening to this enjoyed it. Always appreciate feedback. We're always looking to improve what we talk about and talk about new ideas. So let's see. Yeah.
Throw us some feedback. Throw us some topics you want us to hit on. Whatever. We're waiting for it. We're ready for it. Thanks for listening.
Awesome. Thanks for walking down the hallway with us.
See you in the next one.
See ya. All right.